How far have you come for this connection this evening? How far have all of us come to connect with each other at this time? There is great shifting at this time in body, in mind, in soul. And yet so many of you are still confused. We understand the level of confusion. We understand the level of concern. But you do not understand the level of your faith. Therefore, if you did understand the level of your faith, you would not have any confusion at all. It is time for a greater source to step in and remove energetic frequencies that are stopping expansion, attempting to intercept messages that have been shared with your planet. And yet, so many of you continue to allow this blocking to occur. There's no fear. There really is no fear that is worth any breath, any thought, any truth. And so we ask you at this time, what truth are you choosing to entertain? We say multiple. That means there are options. What truth are you choosing to entertain? Is it your truth or is it someone else's truth? When you entertain someone else's truth, there will always be fear if you are not connected to your truth first. And we watch so many of you entertain others' truths without connecting to your truth first. And it's so confusing to us. We say breathe, and yet you do not. We say take a moment. And in that moment, instead of aligning with your truth, you connect to your fear. And somehow we must share the validity that fear is not a truth at all. Many of you are choosing to entertain the fears of others. And there is a lot of fear, an increase of fear, a vibration that has been increased a long time ago. That is why there is a stepping in to remove the energy attached to the frequency of fear. This is not only a removal, but a redistribution, as we explained on our last session. A redistribution of what? This redistribution of your awareness of your truth. There are questions this evening, and yet there are questions still that some of you are not wanting to ask. You will ask questions because of fear, and we tell you now, those questions already have answers. Therefore, we ask that you use this time to connect with us so that we can connect with you in truth for questions that will bring new answers, new light, new expansion, new understanding. And together, this is how we evolve. We evolve. We grow, expand. More so, not a growth as much as an expansion, a spreading out, an unfolding For so many years, there has been a separation, having to define and classify what is yours and what is theirs and what is ours. Expansion will never have a separation. Then we block all lines, all vibrations from merging together. That is one of the biggest gifts in this vibrational experience, is to come together in body while you are unlimited, in body, to connect to the one truth. So we ask you, what is yours? As this redistribution process continues to attract your attention, we ask that you look at your truth. We ask that you question that truth. And we ask that you look at how you are allowing that truth. So many of you choose to look at the truths of others because there is no responsibility there if that truth is never attained. Therefore, it is easier to dabble in the energy of others. But we ask you, is that power at all? No, it is not. You keep walking out of power to step into someone else's. This is a period of redistribution so you can step into your power. This will continue. This will continue to unfold. And as we say, unfortunately, there is no unfortunate at this time. You cannot see the bigger picture, and that was an agreement. When you stepped into body, you step away from the bigger picture to step into body, to connect with others, to create the bigger picture. And we ask that while you are in body, you allow this to be so. So many of you have come and gone and come and gone. And yet every time you come back, you understand the process. And then you decide to merge into the process, a folding into the process again. And once you are in body, you forget. And that is why we are here. Each of you have the illusion of being lost, being insignificant, being worried, being scared, being left behind. Those are not thoughts that we have given. And those are not thoughts that we entertain. We come because of reminders. You will never go through transformation alone. Hence this life experience, this breath, this being in this organic body. We are here to remind you in this breath that we will step into anybody as they call and as they allow, because through this allowance there is an alignment, and together all of us remain aligned. There is no disconnect. Therefore, this period that you call a pandemic has been a pandemic for centuries. It has been a pandemic of forgetting, and we are simply here to remind you that you cannot forget. It is not part of who you are. One of the biggest fears that your species faces every moment is the fear of stepping out of body and into the unknown. There is nothing, there is no thing that with your source is unknown. Some of you call it claircognizance. Claircognizance is the clear knowing, and that is a part of your spiritual being. And that spiritual being vibrates non-stop, eternally, effortlessly in your body. But in that vibration of body, this organic being, this vessel, this vehicle, it is important that you disconnect. Teresa calls it the rabbit hole. The rabbit hole is simply a space that welcomes your fears. And in that space that many of you crawl into because of the unknown, we will be there, but there is also other energy present at that time, at this time. Moving forward, we ask that as you visualize the idea of expansion, understand the idea of allowing, of moving away from that which pulls you into your rabbit hole. There is no hole, there is no depth that we are not a part of, that we are not present in. We will always be there first. That is why we are there to catch you. And when we catch you, we will hold the space to turn you around and push you back to your vibration. The only time in which we cannot do this is if you choose to stay connected to this space in which you see as unknown. If source is there, is it really unknown at all? I'm going to hold and wait just because I think there's a plane going over. I don't know if some of you can hear that. There's a little bit of static. And I'm not sure whose sky it is. But I'm... That what?
I'm outside.
Oh, Erin, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I know that, some of us need to find our own little space wherever we can. The only problem is as I'm there and allowing it's like a wave of information, anytime there's any extra noise, it kind of breaks it. I don't know how to explain it. Are you guys doing okay? I love the rabbit hole, Teresa, by the way. I want to go into that more. I'm hoping they will go into that more. They will go into that more. Maybe I can ask them questions. All right, Erin, when you're situated, let me know.
Okay, I'm moving.
Okay. And I will move around a little bit because I am sitting crisscross applesauce. And I'm not 20 anymore. All right. Oh, you're in your pretty new kitchen.
Yeah.
All right. Let us begin with questions. Ask us, We are ready to hold space for you. What is it that troubles you about the unknown? What is it that makes you feel afraid? More importantly, what is it that instigates your disconnect from your truth?
Okay, I'll ask. What disconnects me and brings up fear is looking at everything going on and knowing that things are going to change. And I don't know how they're going to change out on the other side and what expectations there is for a normal life. Can you give us a little bit of a glimpse of when the dust settles, what life will be like for us? But no pressure.
Sorry, that was me smiling because I heard the no pressure. And I thought, this is already pressure.
Hence why I said it. Oh my God, I wasn't prepared. Totally heard you.
This is a period of time where the actions, where the groups of information, the overload of information, the pandemic is coming to a head. Your world will not be physically different. Your world will be vibrationally different as each of you are already more aware than you were 6 months ago. There is a necessity of stepping in to break down groups of larger restraints, groups that are using fear to attempt to control the masses. And yes, free will is imperative. However, there is still free will at hand. And one of the greatest things about this period of time is that when your dust settles, you will see things as they are. When things are broken, it is not meant for everyone to scream and run and point the finger and blame. When things are broken, it is a time for everyone to come together, to use creativity to rebuild based on what you are feeling, what you are knowing, what you will have experienced through this unfolding. Some of these bigger groups of energy are not necessarily in body. They continue to come into this earth experience in body over and over and over and over and over. And we have allowed this because it has allowed you to exercise your free will. However, this group and collection of groups of beings is now causing fear to lead, and fear never leads. Hence the destruction, hence the need for breakdown, hence the need for separating, because if there is no separating in body, there cannot be a reunion of information collectively. We have had to step in to uprise the dust so that all the pieces can settle. And therefore, those of you who are true leaders, that is your truth, it will require you to step through your discomfort and assist in the recreative process. This is a time of realignment. Do not be afraid of what everything will look like. Do not be afraid at all. the bigger vibration of this is one of recollecting, while dull energy, lower vibrational energy, screams loud, attempts to take on the energy of the most powerful. We remind you that that is simply just a distraction. It is simply just a show. It is an exaggeration. It is an exaggeration of their fear. There is great energy within your earth. Energy that while human beings have been on this earth for so many years, you are still babies to us. Not your souls, but the experience in your body. Do you use this energy? You empaths, you feelers of the light, you feelers of the Most High, have the blessing to tap into this energy. And you do it every time you look into the eyes of another. That is your doorway. And you are needed to walk through that doorway now more than ever. The dust will settle, and what it will show is you standing. And those broken pieces, many of them will just need to be swept into a pile and planted so that new growth can grow from that which is done. There is no thing that will ever go unused, including the lowest of vibrational energy. The energy most of you fear the most. That is what we don't understand. You are so afraid to watch the dust settle, but yet we are the ones that are cleaning everything up at this time. We need you to sit in your truth, to sit in your body, and tap into this energy of your earth. You call her Mother Earth, this globe of unending life. This globe of universal vibration that connects so many planets that your scientific groups aren't even aware of. You call them galaxies. We call them pockets of information. Mother Earth connects so many pockets of information. That is why so many other life forms want to come to your globe. And that is why so many of the lower vibrational beings are trying to come together to block this shift that is happening. There is no standing in the way. It is time. You have come forth at a time of great transformation, and you knew this. Hence your vibrational awareness at your present moment. At this time, we are vibrationally removing clear, transparent walls that have been encased around your heart, like a membrane that suffocates your truth. A membrane many of you cannot see, and yet you feel so disconnected and worried and fearful. Let us remove it. We are now energetically removing it like spiritual surgery. And do not be afraid. You cannot feel a thing. Be opened. Open your chest and let us remove the very membrane that has encased your heart. It is time for your heart that is beating to rise every time you allow yourself to feel your heart beat. You are allowing yourself to feel the breath of your earth. Your earth breathes. More so than ever, your earth summoned us at the same time that you summoned us, at the same time that we summoned you. David, we apologize for the consistent demand of your energy through writing. And we apologize this because it is upcoming. And we are saying this because as much as you may understand that it is upcoming, we are apologizing for the increase of the demand. You are more willing. You are more willing to step into the unknown because where you have come from has been more fearful. You have already gone through some of the worst, so you have nothing to lose. The others, you must be willing to step into the unknown. Because you have already stepped through, you have already gone through some of your biggest fears. You must be willing to experience your truth more than you are willing to entertain your fear. Where is it written that if you worry about your fears, they will dissolve? It is written nowhere, whether it is in any sacred book or any sacred thought. In fact, sacred books have been written. Your thoughts are unfolding, present tense. That is where the truth continues to evolve. Your expansion at this time is no more than an expansion of awareness, a vibration into the unknown. And as you breathe and allow your awareness to go there, you will see that the dust isn't going to settle at all. In fact, you will see there is no dust. We do say, please do not allow yourself to step into the fear that is about to take place on your media, televisions, radios, VCRs, things that will continue to record. We ask that you understand that a lot of what is unfolding is because of greater fear. And the truth is they don't have the truth at all. Hence the need for exaggeration. Hence the need for greater fear. More of your leaders at this time truly do not know what has spiraled out of control. This virus that you call is not God-made. It has been man-made. It is a genetic re-offering of fear-based energy to control a particular population. And that attempt to control has spiraled. And now some of your leaders are proving that they cannot lead at all. Hence, the silent whisper to return to what you know, to return to what you have energetic access to. This is a great divide. But through this divide, you must be willing to allow others to shift as well, even if they choose to step into the fear, to step into the illusion. Many of you say, but it is not an illusion, it is happening. It is our reality. It is the rabbit hole. It is our worst fears coming to a head, and we say, oh really? Because those that survived the Holocaust, and those that did not went home. The only rabbit hole that exists is that of fear. And fear is the only thing that certain leaders think they have control over. And no one has any control over love. Love. Many of you think, how can we have love at a time like this? How do you expect us to love this? We do not love this. We do not love discomfort. We do not love change. We do not agree. You are the very hope that heaven is made of. You are the change. You are the balance. You are the dust. Where do you wish to settle? It takes practice. It takes practice. It takes great practice. In fact, so many of you are still practicing coming into the embryo. You come into the embryo, and so many of you sit in the womb and think and think and think and think, and then you come into your experience. And you think and you think and you think, but yet we made you feelers. You are natural feelers. What is so scary about feeling the shift? More importantly, in your feeling, it is the shift. How do you feel and maintain love? Love is not a place. Love is not, we don't want you to love what is happening. We want you to happen to loving. We want you to happen to love. You are love, and it is time that you show up in your loving process. And where there is fear, there is no love. Fear will inspire love. Fear will lead you to love. But in fear, you will not love at all. Feeling allows love. Love, remove the word love. Insert the word trust. In fact, no higher vibrational word can be substituted other than the word faith. Because in faith, all words exist. Where is your truth in faith? Why are you so angry at faith? It is not faith's fault this is happening. It is not your fault this is happening. Sometimes there are things that people create that spiral out of control. But it is not anything that cannot be contained in love. That is why we are here. And we are not the only ones that are here. Do not limit the ability of the highest of vibrational beings to come together, because together is all we know how to be. And when there is a great call for love, we all will be present. We are lining up on your planet, above your planet, under your planet, in your planet, more than you realize. And many of you are only beginning to scratch the surface of what this is that you think is love. You are the totality of every life experience up to this point of your timeline. You are the totality of your entire species. You who feels you are not enough. You who feels you are not significant. You who feels you do not have a truth. All we can do is remind. Sometimes there will be things that fall apart, because if they do not, you have nothing that can push you into your power. The sprinkler cannot turn on without the smoke. The smoke cannot exist without the fire. And once the sprinkler is on, that water will replenish, that water will fall, and that water will bring life back. If water carries energy and you feel tired, why are you not consuming more water? You are made up of so much water. Be the beings you are. Know your body. Know your vibration, not theirs, not his, but your vibration. When you allow your vibration without judging your vibration, you will shine brighter than you have ever shined before. And it will disrupt lower vibrational energy because it is supposed to disrupt, dissolve. We cannot step in alone. All of us are part of this process. A greater concern does not come from your nation. There is a greater concern coming from another nation on your planet. This virus will subside temporarily. There is a lot more behind the scenes that is unfolding. There is a lot more that is at the request of universal power, but fear will never ever control universal power because fear cannot control love. Only love can control fear. We do not want to scare. We do not want to provoke. That is never of love. We do wish to remind you to get out of the way. Allow what needs to fall and break to fall and break. It is happening. You are watching it on a global level. You are watching leaders either step into leading or step away from. This has happened many times in your history. Many times when crumbling of the nations took place, many times when crumbling of governmental rules and laws and processes took place. In fact, those rules and laws cannot crumble without the man-made virus, because the man-made virus is the fire that creates the smoke, and the love that is within each of you is the water that rains down to nurture your world, to nurture your earth, to nurture your expression of love within. It is a process. It is a process of humanity shifting itself. You will be called, some of you to move, some of you to relocate. You will be watching people shifting and relocating when this seems to subside. It is law of attraction at its best. We are moving some of you. Some of you will not be able to afford certain things. It is because you will be moved. Do not become afraid just because there is discomfort. You have never not been provided for. Your comforts may shift, but you have not had certain comforts before, and you have always manifested. You have always created, and you will always receive. Some of you were unfolding and going down a path that you did think, this is time, it is my time, this is our year of blessings. And then we say yes, but if you continue down that path, your blessings will be short-lived. And we take you and stop you and move you because your blessings are unfolding. It is a detour. It is a good detour. You will see scenery you have not seen before. Beautiful scenery. Scenery that you think about. We sit there in your thoughts watching the scenery that you attempt to allow yourself to entertain. Beautiful scenes of life unfolding. And then you stop. You reshift your focus onto your reality, not beautiful scenery. Go back to the creating. Go back to the desiring. Go back to where you are being called, whether it is the mountains, whether it is the city, whether it is the desert or the ocean. There are no limits to where your heart can go, and the only limit will be that of fear. I cannot. We cannot. We cannot afford. We cannot. This will not. You keep asking, but then you keep telling us how you cannot. That is why this year of blessings is the year of blessings. There is great blessing in the awareness of allowing your heart to be called, allowing yourself to flow. There is great blessing upon your arrival to where you want to go. You think that it must look a certain way before you get there. We tell you, get there first and then create it to look a certain way. That is why you came. You, in every breath, are creating. And in fear, that creation stops. The crayons fall. Pick up your crayons. Visually close your eyes at this time. Close your eyes with us. Visualize a box, and in that box are crayons. Notice the dominant color. Are there more blues? Are there more greens? What do your crayons look like? What are the colors you are using to create your reality? You never go to this box enough. You try to create your reality from the fears that arise. Fear does not color your world. Fear removes the color from your world. We ask you, those listening at this time, do you understand that you can create colors that have never existed? Prisms that shine through the different angles of your being. Have you stopped to look at sun catchers? And have you ever stopped to watch them catch the sun? Or do you stand at your window looking out hopelessly, helplessly, not coloring at all? When there are chores that are not punishment, but chores that allow your family to function. And when you ask your children to step into those chores, what is it that you say to them when they say, no, I can't. I have other priorities. I wish not to assist this family at this time. What is your response? That is our response to you. There are chores that we ask of you, not as punishment, but as a necessity to allow this family to function. And one of those biggest chores, if you wish to call it a chore, is breathing. Most of you call it a chore every day. Some of you set your equipment on your wrists to alert you when to breathe, when to partake in this chore, and then you stop the alarm. how do you get through this? You shut off the thought process and you breathe. You breathe more. You swim more. You drink more. You bathe more. You walk more. You become part of the fluidity that is life. You flow. The flowing is the current that will take you through all of the redistribution of energy at this time. And that is so important because then you don't have to worry where you flow at all. We will take you. When you try to chart your course, everything becomes a chore. The enemy is not outside. The enemy is inside. In fact, the enemy is inside every body. And that enemy is simply the decision to focus on fear. How can a decision be an enemy? Because the decision is what takes you down the rabbit hole. Please understand that you will be okay. There is no true disconnect from source. Even lower vibrational energy at this time that is breaking apart, it will still be reabsorbed. No thing goes unnoticed and no thing goes unused. Some of you know individuals that will transition. What more of a beautiful ongoing connection do you want? They come to us, then you come to us, then you guys go back, and you come back, and you go back. When you realize that this is a forever unfolding, your decisions will be softer. You cannot do anything wrong other than disconnect from your truth. And we only say wrong because you will feel the disconnect. And when you feel the disconnect, you will feel bad. You will feel scared. You will feel sad. But we are there. And in that breath, you will reconnect again. So there is no disconnect at all. Even through this virus. So many who have already transitioned are still giving answers to what you call science. And there will always be a virus and there will always be a cure. In fact, it isn't about the virus at all. You have asked for change. You have said that we need it. Many have said the earth is dying. And as uncomfortable as it may feel to receive, this is a very necessary part of the realignment, of the change. You are afraid to let go of that which you have spent energy on creating. But there's so much of your present life energy that you want to let go of anyway. We are simply removing it, allowing for removal. Your globe continues to spin. Your moon continues to shine. Your sun continues to awaken you. And yet you're so afraid of change. What is most important will not change at all. Sometimes you are more afraid of what those you love may say because of the change, more so than you are afraid of the change to begin with. So we ask you, in order to get aligned, to be aligned with your truth, you must truly understand your fears. Do not sit in them, do not entertain them and allow them to make decisions for you. But we ask you to sit close, to be transparent with yourself. Are you really afraid of change? Are you afraid of the backlash that is going to come from it? Are you utilizing your intuitive abilities and receiving the understanding that there will be backlash because others do not understand their fears? So do you jump on their fears, or do you stay solid in your understanding of them? There is no fear when there is understanding. In fact, the light is nothing more than understanding. That means you being the light are understanding in body. You are the understanding. And you are unfolding, and every breath allows for more understanding. Are you writing? Are you learning from the understanding? Are you absorbing all of the new things every day? Or are you focused on how the old keeps slipping by? Oops, there it happened again. There it went again. He's in a bad mood again. They're upset again. You take all of your awareness and you place it on the lack of understanding. What if you allowed yourself to understand and let be? You say, well, if I let be, then there will be changes in the relationship. There will be changes in my job. There will be changes in everything. Again, we ask you, what is it that you truly fear? Because change never stopped a civilization from living. Change only allowed for life to take place. So it is not change and life that you're afraid of, or is it? Are you afraid of life? Or are you more afraid of dying? Are you afraid of living, or are you afraid of dying? Which is it? You cannot have both at the same time. You are either here to live or you are here to die. And the biggest farce is that you die. There is nothing dying about you. Some of you say, well, that means that I must die in this body. I understand. I am an old soul and I get it. I am here and this is where this crumbles. And we say, no, you aren't ready to transition. You are not ready to transition. We cannot have you step out of body. Why? Because you came to choose life over fear. We will remind you. We will remind you every second of every day. Live. Live. Breathe. Walk. Swim. See. Look. Allow. Let go. Somehow you think that you must collect things, grab it, work hard to attain it, put it in a box, put it on a shelf, engrave it with the date. All of those things are etched into your soul forever. You will travel softer and quicker when you let go. After a while, the collection gets heavy. It becomes clutter, and the biggest collection of clutter are the thoughts that you continue to save. Almost like little flowers on the road. You pick them and must save them. Pick them and must save them and must save them, including thoughts of others. You must save them. You should see the bank of thoughts. And you should see the amount of thoughts that never get utilized again. Do not be afraid because others are afraid. Have compassion because others are afraid. Have compassion because you can. That is the most beautiful thing of humans, is compassion. On our vibration, compassion is a given, automatic, every moment, no timeline, compassion is. But in body, it is almost something that is so separate from you. But it is not. Compassion is you. Your world needs compassion. You need compassion. How else can you truly sit with your fears? Take note of them and do not collect them. Let them go like they are written on a kite and let it fly. And then be in that meadow. Be in that space. Open meadow. Remove the trees. Space. Be in open space. And receive the breath. Do you understand that with each breath there are codes of new information, data that is constantly unfolding and seeping into your cells? And yet you do not breathe enough. We need new help. We need new insight, new direction, but yet you don't allow the breath. The breath is the wave that brings in the insight. The breath is the wave that brings in the answer. The breath is the wave that soothes the question. The breath is the wave that embraces the fear. And the breath is the wave that transforms the land. You still have questions because we can feel them. Yes, we feel them and we hear you. But I don't want to speak up. I don't want to draw attention to myself. The minute you stepped into that body, you became attention. You became the attention. You became our focused intention. So be in this body and step forward. This is the space in which you practice expressing your truth.
May I ask? As a newly awakened light, how do we not worry about our loved ones during this time?
You are one of our most brightest. We have been watching you for a very long time. So much so that we brought you to those very loved ones. And we remind you that those loved ones will worry. But we also remind you that many of those loved ones are not worrying as much as you. We also remind you that those loved ones were ours first. They will never disappear. They will never go away from you. And you will never go away from them. This is an energetic time of unsettled emotion. And some of what is unfolding is creating a beautiful space for you to settle things with these loved ones. It isn't horrible to worry, but it is exhausting. And some of these loved ones need your light, and because you feel so greatly, you are so afraid to shine, because then it means you will be so close, and then as things change, it will pulverize you. But it won't pulverize you. You cannot be pulverized. We wish you can understand on a bigger, higher, more vast level the extent of your connection with one another. And even in the words we choose to use, it still cannot convey the truth of family, the truth of friendships, the truth of connecting. The law of attraction is in place because of this connecting. Some of your loved ones have also asked for this shift. They have asked for a vibrational shift. And you are worrying instead of allowing. And we feel your fear. We see your content. We taste your anger. And we say, get on your knees and cry. It is okay. It is okay to scream, and it is okay to throw your hands up, and it is okay to say, Father, Mother of the Most High, what do you ask for me to do? I am afraid. And we say to you, if you do not break, how can you break open? More importantly, you must understand, you are one of our brightest lights. And because of that, you feel so very deeply. But without the light, the darkness can expand. And that is what is so definite, is that there is always light, because that darkness truly cannot expand at all. Therefore, there is no disconnect between loved ones. There is only unity and connection, and that lower vibrational energy wishes to distract you by the separation, to convince you you must worry, to convince you there is much to worry about. And we remind you, do not allow yourself to be disconnected and distracted at this time. Your loved ones are also very bright. Some of them are tired. And when there is a life form that is tired, we simply say, it is time to rest. As you all say, rest in peace. And we say, you should always be resting in peace. Why only when you transition? You are born in peace and love. Why do you not allow each other to transition that way? There is great love in what you call death. And the word death is the biggest illusion ever, because there is no finality. It is like a fireworks show that continues. It keeps going, it keeps going. It is a grand finale that continues to unfold if you could only see the sparks that you give off each time you kiss your loved ones.